Okay, oof. Oh, that chair was harder than it looked like. It's been a while. So these videos, like I mentioned in my Road to Infinity that I uploaded now in January, I mentioned that I am gonna reduce the amount of videos that I upload per month. I'm gonna now upload videos every second week is the plan. So basically 2 videos a month. One being the Road to Infinity and the other one being, as part of Road to Infinity, what I call the art of practice. And the reason why I'm doing that is mainly to give myself some space in order to really dive into this project, allowing me to reflect over situations that I go through, and with the Road to Infinity to make a bigger summary instead of going week by week, because sometimes there's not much happening, and instead of having to feel like I need to talk about something, to instead then look into the whole month and to see what there is to share. Welcome to the art of practice. And this is a space where I just share my experiences within practice, and hopefully with time, not only sharing my experiences as they are, but also engaging in a conversation, because I would also want to have this dialogue with you, because you have your own perspective on the things I might talk about. And the way I want to talk about these different topics is going through it. So not in a position where I know and I have an answer, but more as in I'm welcoming you into my world, what I'm thinking, how I see things, and hopefully you can share your point of view, whether you agree or disagree, and then we can talk about it. That's my plan. Okay, so the art of practice. In today's video, what I want to talk about is your practice from the point of view of a relationship. I'm no relationship counselor, but based on my experience in life and how I approach to my practice today, I kind of see it as a relationship between me as the practitioner and then my practice that I am engaging with, that I am committing to. In some of the sessions I've had, where I've had classes or workshops within where I share my practice, I've liked to do that comparison. Your practice and you being in a relationship with each other. Because there's so many things that are so similar, and if we might look at it through these lenses, it might also help us within our practice. Within a newfound relationship, there's always that beginning phase where everything is just amazing. Within the practice, most likely have a similar phase where either you've found a practice, whether it's dance or sports or any other hobby activity that you might have, that there's a beginning phase where it's new and you're excited, you are a beginner perhaps, and there's so much new information and it's all exciting. You keep losing track of time because you're so interested and it's so fresh. You learn very quickly, you quickly move forward, you see the possibilities within what you're practicing. It doesn't always have to be in the beginning of something, but when you have been to an event, if for people watching, if you're a dancer and you participate at battle events or competitions, you will see a lot of people that are amazing, and you'll be inspired. You'll be like, whoa, mind blown, and seeing what countless possibilities there are in terms of development. And I've heard so many people say it, myself included, whenever You know, you've been to an event, you're so inspired, and you're like, okay, back to practice. But with an excitement. Honeymoon phase. The honeymoon phase only lasts for a certain period. At a certain point, you go from having something that is so new, so exciting, so magical, to it's becoming part of your day, part of your life. This is when you've committed to this practice and you're just in it. You're just in it. And time is passing by. What's now new is not new anymore. It's part of a routine, perhaps. This relationship can kind of go into like a plateau where it feels like it's not growing anymore. And if you would zoom in, probably you do have still a rising trajectory, but it's very, very gradual. You can't see when the next big jump is gonna happen. We might take our practice for granted. It can feel monotonous, like it's the same every day. And especially when we don't see this learning curve as steep anymore. We don't maybe feel that the work we're putting into our practice is giving any results. And we feel like either that we're doing something wrong or that it's not, maybe we're missing something. Other people's practices, so other people's relationships with their practice might feel more exciting. Like you see and you're like, I would want that. And not taking in consideration that they're having their own relationship, their own agreements, their own flow. Especially on social media, you're just scrolling and seeing how beautiful everybody's relationships with their practice is. They're having fun, it's exciting, you see amazing developments, results. But like with life, this is what you show outwards, all the good moments, but you'll rarely see what we're getting into now, the conflicts. So no matter how good of a relationship you have, or how compatible you are with your partner, how things are flowing, how in love you are, there will probably come times where there's a conflict, where there's a disagreement. Sometimes it's very minor and sometimes it can grow into something major. But conflicts, disagreements. This conflict you'll have with your practice. You'll enter the practice environment, whether it's in a studio, in your room, wherever you are practicing. You'll get there because you've committed, but then you don't feel, today's not the day, I don't feel like. And when we don't feel like it, and we just listen to this emotion or this state of being of resistance, it's easy to then, make that distance between you and your practice, and we postpone. And this state might last just that day, and the next day you're good again, or it might last a couple of days, it might last longer. Giving into this conflict between you and your practice, and it might be because you feel like you're not getting anywhere, you don't feel the results, you don't see the good things. This is what might lead into you feeling demotivated. And then this can become a downward spiral where if you don't do anything at all to repair it, next thing you know, the conflict might have grown so strong that you left it. And you might pick it up again later, or might not. But the reason why I'm sharing this is because as a relationship going through its different phases, you're gonna have your up, and then there's gonna be a little dip, and then it's gonna go up and down. When you've found your partner and you know that it's the person you wanna be with, so even in the rough times, you're still in it. You're still committed, you're still in love with the person, and you keep growing together. And then maybe in a year from now, you look back at the journey that you've had and you see the growth that both have had together, the experiences, the places you've been to, the conversations you've had. And the same thing is with your practice. You see a potential in something, right? And something gets you excited, you fall in love, and then the deeper you dive into your practice, the more perhaps in love you become, because you learn so much about the practice. You learn what you're capable of. the challenges that exist and the sensation you have when you surpass those challenges, and the feeling of growth, the looking back, the wow, see the journey I've been through and look at where it's taken me. The moments that we have a dip, and the dip really, goes deep, where like you're questioning, why are you practicing? Why are you putting all this time? Why am I not improving? Is to remember to fall back into the idea. What is the commitment that you got yourself into? Remembering maybe why you started. So going back, why did you fall in love with it? What was it? In terms of the direction and the long-term, commitment, what were your goals? Or what are your goals? And then having a moment and have a conversation with your practice where you're maybe just rechecking. We had set these goals together, and are we still aiming for the same things, or have things changed a bit? If yes, then maybe where do you find agreement? What is the new direction you're heading in? Maybe, now back into the honeymoon phase and everything restarts. If things were good and the goals are the same, okay, you just needed that reminder and that moment of reflection, and you continue. If you now suddenly feel like, you know what, none of these goals really mean the same to me anymore. I don't feel as strongly about this practice as I did in the beginning. I wasn't as in love as I thought I was, and that's okay. That's definitely okay, and that should be a reminder to not judge the fact that you might not have the same goals, that your practice is not the same, and that might be a reason for you to then step out of it. Leave it for a moment. Who knows? Maybe you find yourself back together, and then you needed to experience other things in order to see what you really wanted within your practice, where you really wanted to go, what was your actual goal. Having said all of this, this is not a relationship tutorial or a relationship advice, guidance, because who am I, right? I know nothing, just sharing the way I'm looking at my practice, because what I do know is that after all these years, me and my practice have been together for, I think, we're reaching our 20-year anniversary at some point this year, I think. Have we been super, has it been like a relationship from the get-go? Maybe not. Maybe it was like a little bit of flirt in the beginning, casually dating or spending time together. And then at a certain point, I know roughly when that was, sparks started happening. And now the dance, that was something that was just becoming more and more part of my life, became that something that I wanted to do, dedicate a part of myself to, and to have that journey alongside each other. So so this is why I am sharing this practice, and it being a relationship between you and your craft, between you and your art, your sport, whatever you're spending time with, and that is inspiring you to grow. Hopefully when you are in your different phases in your practice, maybe by looking at it as a relationship, it might change perspective, to remain curious of how good you can become in what you're doing, to see what your full potential is. So that's a little bit what I wanted to talk about today. Maybe not something that you expected, but that's good. And again, do you see the resemblance between you and your practice and the relationship that you have with each other? Or would you describe what you have with your practice or with your craft as something else? And what is that something else? Let me know in the comments below. I'm curious to hear, and I would love to have a conversation about this, because now I'm just sharing my thoughts. I might be super wrong, or I might be spot on, who knows? So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoy your practice, and let's find out what our true potential is. And I'll see you in the next video.